Hey there, coaches. How are you this Tuesday morning? Oh my gosh. I'm like going. I just did another live in my other essential oil group for them, spotlighting an oil of the month, which is coriander, by the way. Coriander is such a great oil. I love it. And there's so many uses for it, but I want to talk to you today about how are you defining your niche, right? It's really important. Yeah, there's different areas that we are all in. So some of us are in life coaching, some of us are in nurse coaching, some of us are in health coaching. There's sometimes you're going to define a niche, sometimes you're probably going to be more broad. But how are you defining your niche? There has to be somebody that you particularly want to work with, because you've been through life experience, right? And it's so important that, I mean, you've seen how you've changed. Me personally, I was in occupational therapy for 18 years. Okay. I have so much of that knowledge and that expertise. Before that, I ran my own daycare, business out of my home. And before that, when I was just a teenager, I was taking care of my younger sisters, right? So I was always put in this leadership role, having to do all these things and figuring it out for myself. So I bring all that expertise to me right now in my coaching business. And it's a lot. It's massive, right? And what I've done is pick out the really key things that I love about my past. What are the key things that you love that you've always done, right? I bring those forward with me. Not everything I've done in my career and my life is going to come into my coaching business right now. But there are so many key things. And there's the point where I made that transformation for myself. And for me, that was getting healthy. It was realizing I had not one sister, but two sisters who got breast cancer, and, seeing how the doctors wanted to just put them on all this medication even beforehand. They wanted me to take tamoxifen and these other things and get the tests, I can't even think of the name, BRG, whatever it is, test to see if I had the gene for breast cancer. And I'm like, no, right? And, I can't tell you how many heated arguments I got in about that stuff. But nonetheless, I was on my own journey. And when I found out they had breast cancer, that just opened up a whole new world for me. And that's when my real transformation started. And so I had to go and learn all kinds of stuff. And let me tell you guys something. Here's the other part of it. You guys think you need to keep getting all this education and all this education and more and more and more before you put yourself out there. You don't. You don't. You have a PhD in life. Start using it. Start just putting yourself out there with that PhD that you already have, right? A lot of us, all of us in this group did go through IIN or some kind of coaching school, and that's awesome, right? We got that information that we needed that helped progress us from, that beginning of like, oh my God, something's missing in life, right? Something is missing in life. I just don't know what it is, but all of a sudden something's missing. So this quest opens up for you to explore, for you to have curiosity, for you to have, something that just sparks your interest to say, okay, what else can I learn? What do I need to know? If you start asking those open-ended questions to yourself, like, what do you need? What does the universe have for you to learn? What else do you need to know to actually move yourself forward in the direction you want to go? I didn't know what I was missing. I just said, I know something's missing. What is it? I need help knowing. I just felt a little bit of emptiness. And if you're feeling that way, start asking yourself those open-ended questions. And, again, it's you going out and learning. When I first started this, it was just when we got computers, right? And we had the big square computers. I know I'm probably dating myself, but I'm only a year older than my daughter. And look at these guys. This is what my life's all about. This is a really old picture, but this is my why right here, right? And you got to have a why for sure. But I just started researching, and I did go back to school for occupational therapy, and we had to do a whole thing, a whole, what do I want to call it? We had to do a group project, and we did it on breast cancer and stress and all of that stuff. So it was self-learning. It was totally self-learning. I got into occupational therapy. I learned a lot from there, but I also learned that the medical field does not help us out, right? There's a lot of broken pieces in there, and that they don't teach everybody about being proactive and self-care and all these things that we need to know, and there's a huge gap. And so I'm going to go back to, if you think you need all this schooling and a new course and a new course and a new course, stop. Like, just stop. Look at what you already have. Look at all the expertise you have. Look at your self journey. That's what you need to put out there. And Amanda, you are right. You only need to know 10% more than your ideal client. But I can guarantee you, you probably already know 50% more, if not 75% more or 90% more, because a lot of people are stuck in this space where they're not even looking to educate themselves. That's why we're going to be so valuable in the next 10 years, right? Because more and more, the more coaches that show up, authentic coaches that show up, and you show up authentically online, because that's where everybody is, or authentically in your community, and you are just who you are. And here's the thing, guys, I just lived my life, right? When I first met my boyfriend, he was not a healthy person, right? He was healthy, but he was not healthy internally. But neither were the group of people that we were around. Even at work, I would bring my green juices. I'd bring my own lunch. I would eat healthy when we were having like lunch served and it was all crap. And people couldn't understand how I could just, not crave all that crap that they were eating. And it just was me. I lived my life in front of everybody. I did what was important for me in front of everybody. I talked about what was important to me too in front of everybody. Now, I didn't overwhelm people with what I was doing. It was just, I did it naturally, and people started conversations with me. So that's first of all how you start getting yourself out there, and how you start getting, noted as the person. Oh, she's the healthy one. I never minded being called that, right? And so how do you pick your niche? You bring all that experience with you every single day. Every day you live you, and people are going to be attracted to it, or they're going to be repelled by it. And those who are repelled by it, that's okay. Even if they're family, friends, coworkers, whatever, right? They're going to repel themselves. It's not like you're going to push them away. And I think sometimes that's also where we get stuck. And I want you to rethink that. So the first way you start picking your niche is by your life, by what you love to do, and by your lifestyle. And that's how you're going to build out your program. And the people who fit in there, the people who start hearing you talk, the people who start seeing you live your life, the ones who say, oh my God, she's really healthy, or I like what she does, or she talks my language, or wow, that's impressive. They're going to be the ones that start coming into your circle. And there'll be people who walk out of your circle. I've had a lot of that over the years. Even for some people who do like the healthy part of it, maybe they just don't like the way I teach it, all right? That's okay. They don't have to be in my circle. And I wish them well and let them do their own thing. The ones who are not ready to get healthy, I wish them well. And I'm here if they want my help. But start your program by your life, your expertise, your journey, what you bring to the table. That's number one, guys. And then it's really just basically some of the other things that you can look at. Do you want to work with a specific people? Again, I tell you guys this all the time. Had I niched down when I first started my coaching business, I'd have a thriving business coaching men only, because they were my ideal client back then. Only I didn't have enough sense to see it and had the desire to niche down. I was too afraid to niche down, right? But had I done that, men were my ideal client. And I could see me right now having that thriving coaching business of teaching guys how to get healthy. You know, they're a different breed, and they very compartmentalized, where we are, you know, doing 20 things at once. They do one thing at a time, and they put all their focus on it. And so that's why sometimes we look at men and say, oh, how come they have the, you know, the success? That is one of the reasons why. So don't be afraid to niche down, because you'll look back at it 10 years later like me and say, darn, I should have done that, right? And I get along well with men. And so, you know, I've always got men in my circle of friends. And so, you know, don't be afraid. Maybe you want to work with just women, which is what I do now, because I want to empower us to go forth in our coaching business. I don't want us to be afraid of tech. I was afraid of tech for my first 10 years of doing this business. I truly was, guys. And I know you guys, sometimes you look at it now and you think, well, how? But I truly was like so frustrated with tech. And now I want to help us, because I know that's one of the biggest things that holds us back. So the next thing would be, do you want to work with a specific group of people? You know, you don't have to. Maybe because you want to niche and work with, like, say you want to work with, you know, just all nurses. Maybe you want to work with someone who has gut issues. Maybe you want to, and that could include men and women and, you know, whatever. But maybe you want to work with hormonal women. Well, okay, now you've kind of narrowed your niche, and it's, you know, those women are between 45 and 65, I would think, right? Well, I'm talking menopausal women, I should have said, not hormonal, because you could work with hormonal women after they give birth, right? That's a category all in itself. The ones who are going through menopause, category all on themselves. And that niche, you know, also at that time, especially when they're around that 50 to and above, they're probably also going through transition of becoming an empty nester, some of them, right? So you have these other things that you can add into your coaching program. So that's the next thing is, do you want to work with a specific group of people, right? Maybe you want to work with moms that have just newborn babies, or moms that have, you know, toddlers, or moms who want teens. You know, these are all different groups of people, and you really have to separate them unless you are just working with a specific area, like, you know, moms trying to get organized so that they can spend more time with their kids, right? I'm also I just created a little ebook that's for, you know, how moms can, quick meals for moms so they can spend more time with their kids, or something like that. So that'll be ready pretty soon. But that's kind of where you start with your niche, right? First, bring in your expertise, guys. Your coaching, you have the health coaching background, you have your coaching background, whichever it is, bring that in, but look at where your expertise lies and where the gifts that you have are, because that is your coaching program. That is the foundation of your coaching program. And then that group of people that you want. And that, when you do that, you're going to then really, like, if it's hormonal women, if it's menopausal women, if it's mom with babies, like, now you're niching down, and that's where you're going to get the help in, okay, now how do I create a program, right? If it's menopausal women, Okay, what are their pain points? What are their challenges, right? Can't sleep at night. I'm gaining, weight in the middle. My hormones and my emotions are up and down and up and down. One day I'm happy and the next day I'm, going crazy, and maybe that's minute to minute. Sweating, feeling unhappy with themselves, going through the transition. Like, that's your program. You're gonna focus in on that, and then you're gonna say to me, well, I need to go and do a lot more research on that and take another course. No, you don't. Right? You're living it. What are you doing to get past those things? Yes, maybe you can take a course at some point, but don't let that hold you back from, starting your program right now. You're, again, as Amanda said, 10% more knowledgeable than your potential clients out there, because they don't even know how food can support them in that realm. They don't know that. And that's where your starting point is going to be, getting them to shift some of the things that they're eating and the way they shop. And then, it could be letting them know about, toxins that they're putting on their body, right? So you start there. You can do the research as you go along. There's lots of books. I learned a ton from books. You can get a lot of hormonal books. You can, look at, especially hormonal, you can look at essential oils and how they can be used. And if you need any help there, just let me know, because I have a lot of information there. But you can, follow a couple of good people that are reliable people that focus on hormones and menopause, and just see what they're doing, and then go and do that research. You got Google, right? You got it. Yes. Your niche is chronic. Stella says her niche is chronic health inflammation for both male and females. Perfect. You're working with men and male and women. Men and women. But you're really focusing on, her niche is the chronic health inflammation. Perfect. And there's so many ways that we can help them, even initially, start decreasing that inflammation. And it's the food part of that you could start with. So there's where your program starts to be created right there. And Stella, if you've gone through some of that yourself, then you already know some of the things that you can do, right? I can tell you essential oils can help with that a ton. And that's, when I would work with clients, I would absolutely implement that stuff in there. Turmeric, is going to be something that you could use with them, right? There's a lot of things that you can start having them do they're going to start seeing some reduction in that inflammation. The elimination diet might be perfect for that. So, and if you need that, I have one of them on my website, but those are the things that you can start, where they're going to start seeing a noticeable, decline in that inflammation. And then you continue on with learning, right? But start, guys, start. And Stella, like anybody else, I started out in health coaching, right, with men and women. And then I started focusing in on inflammation and detoxing, because those were things that I had gone through, and I'm a big detox person, and then it shifted into, oh my God, I can really be, adding immune system to my, toolbox, because I've only been sick once in almost 30 years. It'll be 30 years probably in December. And so I can absolutely, did I go take courses on, immune system? No, but I think I can absolutely teach on it, right? I know what I've done for my body, and I can absolutely tell when I start getting inflammation in my body, like almost immediately. And if I could snap my fingers, I would, but I can't. So I'm just saying it. So I could absolutely teach on that and feel very confident, very comfortable in teaching on that. And for you guys, it's just getting over that hump where you feel like, oh, I'm an imposter. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're just feeling that way, right? Because you think, oh, doctors can only talk about inflammation, and doctors and nurses can only talk about this or that. No, guys, we have a lifestyle and a lifetime of expertise. go with it. I'm so glad you have a niche, Stella. If you guys have any questions on this, put a comment down below. I would love to answer it. If you want to get on a clarity call with me to kind of walk through this in some way, I would absolutely love to have you on that. It's just something that I'm good at, helping people decipher, but that's how you start your niche. There's many more things you can do, but really that is the first couple of things, right? And even if you're going to be keeping it open, wide open, still create that sense of niche for yourself. Your niche could be your areas of expertise. What do you love to do? Take it from your lifetime, take it from your schooling, take it from your years of career and your years of mothering or your years of just living, right? Start there and write that down. And if you're using a broad niche, that's it. That right there is it. And you know that you're going to create a basic program, a signature program. Guys, I can't tell you, I know that coaching is wonderful and we should be, doing it open-ended, but having a signature program that you can take somebody through, even if that's based on your areas of expertise, you should create it. Even if it's a side program that you have, you should create it because that is a powerful tool for you. Stella says, no, just food can trigger chronic inflammation, but also lifestyle like stress management. Absolutely. Emotional health. Absolutely. So in your program, you should have, pillars that one is nutrition, one is stress management, and one is, emotional health, right? And that's how you develop a program. That's how you develop a program because those all fit in there. And this is the thing, guys. And I'll keep going back to what Amanda said, right? And I've been saying this for years. You only have to know 10% more. People out there in the world don't know that emotional health, stress, and food is what's causing them all of the distress and health challenges in their life. We know that. They don't know that. So stop thinking you're an imposter. Stop thinking you can't go out and coach people. Stop thinking that you need to take more classes before you get started. If you need help, let me know. I would love to have you come over, and I'm sure Amanda could attest to it. We have a group program where we have calls twice a week, and now we're starting a third one twice a month where coaches are going to coach coaches. And just get comfortable with talking about how to close and how to, talk about your service statement or your elevator speech, if you want to call it, how to think in all these different ways and start feeling comfortable with that. Yes, because we know, we think everyone knows. Yes, right. We think everybody knows what to do and they don't know the simplest things, guys. They don't know the simplest things. They don't know how to read a label. They don't know that, their urine is supposed to be clear versus dark yellow. I mean, these are questions people would come up and ask me, right? They didn't know what gut health was, right? They didn't know all of these things. They don't know. They don't know that if they just simply drank water, how much their life would change. The brain fog, the sore joints, the fatigue, and a whole bunch of other things. And so I'm actually getting that. I just almost ready with that PowerPoint for you guys as a webinar. Hydration. I actually did two workshops on that for 30 minutes. Somebody asked me to come in and do a workshop on hydration, and I got paid $250 a workshop just for 30 minutes. I mean, hello. Right? And you wouldn't believe the questions I got asked on that. So it's very powerful. They don't know. They need our help. Go out and start coaching. We'd love to have you in our group coaching, or if you'd want to coach one-on-one with me, take you from idea to launch with a website if you need it in 12 weeks and get you going. And the website is so easy to edit and, create. It's a great thing. And then just one other thing is we have let's see, we have coming up this week, Wednesday, February 22nd at 10 a.m. I'm doing an interview with Miss Shauna Van Murk. She's a CEO and organic content marketer. I'm going to be interviewing her live in this group at 10 a.m. So be there so that you can get some great tips from her on how you can market yourself organically. Okay. And also coming up, I have 2 essential oil classes that if anybody wants to learn about essential oils, it's on March 2nd and March 8th at 7 p.m. You can also stay for the biz opportunity to find out how you can actually build some passive income from that. And then it has March 15th, but I'm going to change it to the 22nd. I am doing a webinar on how to make smart investments, making an average of 3% return on your investments weekly. So if you want to come to any of those, just come and check it out. And I'd love to show you how you can create several passive incomes that you can have in your life. So I hope this was helpful. Boy, I went really long today. I guess I was fired up. I get that way sometimes. I think that's all the questions. If you guys have any other questions, absolutely put them down. Thanks for joining me, guys. And let me know if you want a clarity call. I'd be happy to do that. All right. Bye for now.